This is the Nautilus XL Max. By now, you've probably already heard of the Nautilus X series. It's their entry-level offering, although entry-level for Nautilus is hardly entry-level by other standards, and it's one of the oldest reels in their lineup. And today we're going to take a look at the XL Max. And this reel is their crossover freshwater saltwater option in the X series. It's built on the XL frame, but they modified the spool so it can take an 8 and even a 9 weight line. And that means this is going to be a great reel for anybody that's looking for a super lightweight reel to do both saltwater and freshwater duty. And of course, being a Nautilus, this reel is totally saltwater safe. It's got some really great features. As a bonus, we actually already reviewed this reel as part of our 8-weight shootout back in 2017. So we've got some drag data. Let's talk about it. This drag adjusts with 3.5 turns or so, which is a good amount of adjustability. You're going to be able to dial in the drag that you want, but not so quickly that you're going to break off a fish that you've got on the line. And with those 3.5 turns or so, you're going to get about 6 pounds of drag. Unfortunately, this is one of the few reels today that actually does have a bit of startup inertia. It's at about 1 pound or so, so it's not going to be something that really affects your fishing, particularly in saltwater with heavier tippet. But if you're fishing for world records and startup inertia is really important to you, you might want to think about upgrading to something like the CCF X2. And of course, being a Nautilus, as we already said, it's totally sealed and saltwater safe. Moving on to the spool, we've got a 3.7 inch max diameter, a width that's nice and narrow of about just a hair under an inch, and an arbor size here of about 2.1 inches. And that's going to yield about 8.5 inches per turn of line pickup, which is good, but definitely not among the best reels out there. This video is supported 100% by your purchases at Trident Fly Fishing. So if you're in the market for some new tackle, check us out at tridentflyfishing.com. Some 8-weight reels are well over that 10-inch mark, and they just pick up line a lot faster. Again, this Nautilus XL Max, in my eyes, is more about weight and flexibility to interchange the spool with the XL than it is about absolute max performance. Nautilus makes plenty of other reels that offer more drag and higher line pickup than this one. And with that said, you're going to be able to fit about 250 yards with an 8-weight bonefish line. And that's going to be plenty for your next trip to the Bahamas. And as I've already mentioned, this reel is very lightweight. At 5 ounces, it's an insanely lightweight 8-weight. And I think when this reel came out in the now early to mid 2010s, nobody really wanted or appreciated a 5-ounce 8-weight reel. But today we've got rods like the Atlas and rods like the Orvis Helios 3 Blackout that are super lightweight and have almost no swing weight. And those are the rods that this reel is going to balance out particularly well. So even though this is an older reel, it's actually really now starting to come into its own. And before I go any further, don't forget, if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button. Up next is sound, and Nautiluses always have sounded great. This one does not sound as good as, say, the CCF X2, which was our favorite reel in that 8-weight shootout, but why don't you take a listen? And here's the outgoing. And up next is the ergonomic factors, and they are pretty good. Again, this is a Nautilus, and it's a great reel. The drag knob is easy to grab and adjust. It's definitely not the biggest drag knob in the world, but it's certainly more than adequate. And while the handle on the larger reels like the CCF X2 is definitely better, this one is fine, especially when you consider that it is a light duty reel. And the XL Max also has added flexibility. In addition to this max spool, you can take it off and use this same frame on a 6/7 size. So you've now got a reel that can take you all the way from a 6-weight through a 9-weight for the moderate expense of a spare spool. So when you think about that in terms of overall cost, that does bring that down a little bit and adds to the value on this Nautilus XL. And since we're on the topic of price and value, this reel has gone up a little bit in the last 5 years, as has everything else, and is now priced at $455. But overall, I still think that's a pretty reasonable value. Again, you get a frame that you can use for multiple sizes. You're getting what is still one of the lightest and best performing 8-weights on the market today. So if you're looking for an ultra lightweight saltwater setup, this is one of the very few reels that you should be considering. If you have questions about this XL Max or any reel in the Nautilus lineup, don't forget to give us a call at 888-413-5211 or email us 24/7 at support@tridentflyfishing.com. I'm Ben, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.